Yes, yes. Are you getting it?
Woohoo!
We're here. We're here.
Yay!
So, oh yeah, wow. It's saying all three are live, other than I just have to press go live once. Um,
Nice.
once LinkedIn is received.
Yes. Reaching as many people as we possibly can here on Rewire
Yes, yeah.
Refresh. Whoop,
Yes,
whoop.
we go. We go.
Amazing. Okay, well, today, Rory, I am so excited for you to tell us all about the 5 daily Ds framework and really thinking like mastering our morning, jumping out of bed, having a compelling vision, and setting aside any overwhelm, self-doubt, whatever may come up at times for us to manage and to see these as daily tools to really use and utilize. So please do explain your 5 daily Ds framework.
Amazing. Thank you for being curious about it. It's been quite a long number of years
Mhm.
developing ideas on how to manage my neurodivergence, right? The scatter or the what well they call it ADHD and nowadays with the sense of like one style personality is scatter and moving too fast brain through to wanting to get something um fixed and right and developed
Okay.
non-stop perfect or
Mhm.
analyzing. For design, you need analysis, and for um, uh, action and creativity and feedback, you need the action to take
Mhm.
that. So they fight each other if one you stay in one for too long. There's a
Ah.
thought, the theory into action, theory into action, theory into action. So the practice of getting past our own emotions and struggles without some kind of process to follow that isn't neurotypical as such, that is just about, just push through the challenges or feel the fear and do it anyway without
Mm.
really embodying it. And the whole idea of the 5 daily Ds is to embody the practice. And so I can talk about it in theory, just like anything. I could talk about yoga all day. We could talk about all these things all day, but is it landing? Is it applied to our unique fingerprint and personality type and all
Mhm.
that stuff? So the framework is really there to say here, I like frameworks and principles because we can take what we want from it and apply it and tailor it how we like.
Mhm.
So uh, first of all, when we wake up, we will automatically problem solve because the logic mind starts to kick in from the dream mind.
Mhm.
So when we I could obviously talk about each five of these for like a whole hour probably, or it wouldn't really, again, it wouldn't make much difference if it wasn't questions and answers in how to apply that to something. So, but either way, the first one is D, dream.
Mm.
So when we're coming out of sleep, we want to bring that state of dream into our reality before just cutting it off and going straight to
Mm.
responsibility of logic and planning and decision making and dealing with stuff. But there's this playful state in our imagination that is so important. So dreaming up what we want before we do anything can get faster and faster. There can be a lot of different things, and we can make ourselves wrong with that dream. So noticing that um, a nightmare versus a happy dream,
Yeah.
uh, dreaming without a sense of vision.
Mm.
So dream for me covers visionary wants and
Mm.
desires, and also knowings that what's
Yeah.
possible and believing in skills, all the positive side of dreaming. So it's a direct dream rather than a dream happening to me subconsciously
Mhm.
asleep through to I'm dreaming my reality. So it's active meditation in the dream.
Yeah.
So Um, so it's that sitting with what could today what could how what would today look like if it was a masterpiece for me is a really lovely question to ask because within our limits or within out of our limits, even if there's a lot going on, we know we need to get a few things done before we can move on to a bigger project or a bigger dream, even if there's things to clear up or tidy up.
Mm,
What would it look like to have done your absolute best and outperformed, even with it just being tidying the room,
yeah.
even if it's just one thing?
And do you also can while you're connecting to your, I call it a compelling vision, really something that's going to get you out of bed. Do you also then really feel what it looks like as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's bringing the feelings in, and if there's even if there's upset of like, well, I don't know how that's going to be possible,
Mhm.
and the doubt coming in, that's okay to feel that too. So we're not going into the technicalities of how to do the transformational work, but this is just the framework of of five daily Ds that can be
Yeah.
done. And they can start in an order and go round in a circle, but they can also blend it across each other too. So
Mm,
they're not like
yes.
just I'm just doing the dreaming and then I'm just doing this and I'm just doing this. Although to learn it, it's actually like anything with maths, learn or spelling, learn the letters before spelling the words.
Yeah.
So that's why they are five in themselves, but
Yeah.
also they start to blend once you get into them. They can become instant, like a dream, and then the next one is
Mm.
drop.
Amazing. So before we move on to drop them,
Yeah,
I've just written down dream, connect to your compelling vision. Would you say it, and that's my terminology. Would you say that that's it?
that's it. That's great.
Perfect.
There's the firework.
Hey!
Excellent.
Fireworks.
Yeah. Brilliant. So
Okay. Drop. Yeah, tell us.
drop.
Mhm.
I'm wondering what you get from that first is a quick laser focused
Yeah.
what do you get from drop?
Instantly, I actually got uh, like shivers and a little bit of goosebumps because it was as if drop or release anything that isn't serving you, anything that you do not want, which goes hand in hand with your dream. You don't want a nightmare and you don't want to think of all of the things that could be wrong or dwelling in the past, worrying about the future. Drop to me is very intentional and being present in the now. So that's what I get. It's like,
Yeah, love it, love it. So the drop, yeah, drop, yeah. Basically, yeah, the drop is is it what is it just stuff? Is it what's urgent? What's not important? What's that kind of
Mm,
cognitive process of what I'm gonna get done in relation to what I just dreamed up that I'm gonna create for the day. What is
mhm.
not necessary, less urgent, what's the most urgent thing, and drop everything else. But also, even before that,
For people listening and not watching, that was amazing. Rory had his shoulders right up to his ears, and all of a sudden, drop. Wow. What a visual. I love that. Yes.
so there could be something going on that's that has to be looked at.
Mm,
But how do we deal with that? We have to relax. We have to
mm,
drop it into ourselves, drop into our body, drop the muscles
mm.
to be able to handle the challenges as well as just letting go of stuff that we aren't necessary. So there's things that aren't necessary that we're making up that we think we have to do. That's a big
Yeah.
coaching call in itself, just what's actually wanted and what is not wanted. But then then there's the there's things that actually do need to be looked at and that's challenging. And so a difficult conversation, a change,
Mm.
a processing of grief, or even just more simple, just just things that is part of work or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
dropping into it
Yeah.
with full intention to come
Mm.
through it. And so
Intentional. Yeah.
physical relaxation, and if we don't drop, we can't dream better.
Mm.
If
Mm.
we're often we can be creative in stressful situations,
Yeah.
but only with what is known and what is really laser focused and apparent. So we've got short bursts of creativity when we're
Mm.
on the go and high level. People get addicted to
Yeah.
that rather than actually trying to relax and dreaming into it. So the dream and the
Yeah.
drop interact with each other, like I said before.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
so relaxation and what I call
Mhm.
relaction, which is to relax and imagine, to relax as an action, or
Yeah.
to relax and imagine an action being taken. So
Yeah.
that's drop. Um,
Can I add something, Rory?
yeah.
Because I know people are going to be probably speaking at their phone or laptop, however they're listening, thinking questions. So if I may just go into each one as you go along, that would be amazing. Thank you. All right. So you said something there about challenging, things can be challenging of a conversation or a new scenario, for example, or a new habit, something like that. Yes. And when I thought I dropped there, and it probably is going to come into another D, is like drop into your beliefs. So that there is a belief. So having that awareness that of, say, for example, it's challenging, it's difficult, flipping it to it's fun and easy. People laugh at me all the time. You and I know if you believe it's challenging, guess what? It's probably going to be. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that because that's how we empower ourselves and that's how we dream bigger by dropping. Okay. And
Oh,
being intentional. Oh,
and,
yes.
and love it. And one last piece that I'm glad you slowed that down, because there's also delegate as well within
Mm,
that process of dropping what is not needed or what's needed to be happening but isn't my best
yeah.
skill, or who can help, not how can I do it as well.
Yes. Asking for support is a game changer in itself. Yes. Oh, amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. Are you ready for the third D?
I am.
Yeah. So it's uh uh draw.
Okay.
So
Draw.
I love draw because it took me 20 years to start doing it. And now I love it so much because I couldn't write. I didn't know how to get past my own challenges of knowing that, kind of knew why it was important to write stuff down, but I just don't know why I didn't. I didn't have a diary for years, and I was just I can't believe I was like, I can see how it happened, but yeah, either way. So yeah, I
Yeah.
like late for things, not remembering stuff, only just barely hanging on to reality whilst playing guitar and you know
Mm,
dreaming my way around. So one of them is really great, but it's a balance with all of these. So
yeah.
the draw is quite relatively simple, but it goes into a lot of detail again if necessary. So just to just
Mhm.
to reflect. And we know that it's like there's a power in reflection practice and brain dumping. For instance, brain dumping compared to singling it out and then declaring.
Mm,
They're two different processes. One is like a creative process of what idea formation, and the other one is actually struck declaring and saying this is what I'm actually going to do. And that's the bit that
mm,
people can struggle with. Some people struggle with the creativity piece, some people struggle with the declaration piece. And my framework is much more for 2026 is to declare more. I've been drawing it out more, but I get to declare quicker to go from thought to action, and the action is the declaration. The
Mm.
thought is the brain dumping, the action taking is the declaring within draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other piece around that, which is I find really exciting, is the drawing is when you think of it as a action coming inside to out of the body to draw it
Hmm.
at the same time as declaring it,
Hmm.
that's setting up the brain. They call it the reticular activation system to then you start to
Yeah.
be able to, if I say I want to find 10 blue cars on my walk when I'm
Yeah.
going out for a walk, I've already declared that I start to notice it without having to think
Yeah.
further. I'll just start noticing them. So there's that drawing from the universe whilst drawing it out from
Mm.
inside to out. So it's drawing both ways. When it's a declaration, it's also saying this is what I'm going to do, and
Mm.
and this will actually bring it to me at the same time as me putting it
Okay.
out there.
So law of attraction is really important for the draw. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely amazing. And I love that you said thought to action. Because, like you started at the beginning, you can have all of these ideas, and when you take no action, inaction, then they're not going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen. Whereas when you started with dream, you said about bringing your dreams into reality. It's the same thing, isn't it? Yes. Amazing. Okay, so we're on to the fourth D.
The fourth D, drive,
Okay, yeah.
drive, and notice what happens. So
Yep.
when we write something out, speak it out, declare it, whatever, however we're drawing it out in action, we've taken the feelings, the the thought processes, and then the action.
Hmm.
We're creating the motivation. So we create the motivation. We don't wait for motivation to come to us. So we can do that by getting excited about what's possible and knowing that if we went through a challenge in the first place, like whatever it was, right, learning to ride a bike when we were 5, which is something I maybe did do and then forgot again. Anyway, without going off on a tangent, having to and sometimes it takes more learning for some people, more
Yeah.
repetition. And some people just throw themselves into it and can learn
Mm.
quite quickly. That's okay too. I would have to do things 3 or 4, 5 times more in the repetition
Mm.
phase than a lot of people would that I'd noticed neurotypically would do to learn something. But
Yes.
that sense of however much it takes to create the motivation to know that it's there, and then that's the drive is this blend across over from drawing out your process of what you're going to create, even if it's not knowing how, but you can draw can also be this is exactly step by step how I'm going to do it. If it's known, if it's not known, that's okay too. The drawing is the mystical version of drawing as well as the
Yeah.
really analytical scientific version of drawing. And then
Mm.
you've already set your GPS with the drawing. So
Mm.
all it is it action taking all the way through the day becomes just like so easy.
This is gold dust. Like I actually got so emotional then. I may I reflect on this? Oh wow. Yes, I'm really seeing how they all integrate. People are looking, searching mainly for this balance, which is a complete myth. The scales like this, and it's an integration, giving, receiving, in all areas of your life, not just having lots of hats, just one hat, you as a whole perfect individual. Okay, so whew, Rory, I'm making notes as I go, and I will be listening again because this is just honestly incredible. So straight away when you said drive, I got this like excited, also nervous feeling, as if I was going to be out of my comfort zone into the fear zone. And that's great. That's where we want to go every day, even if it's just dipping a big toe, isn't it? And first of all, when you said it, I thought, who's driving? Right? What are you driving? Who's driving? And also, straight away, because I'm a visionary, I knew that I was forward facing. I wasn't driving, looking in the rear view mirror. I was safe. I was buckled in. I was, you could be in a 4x4 if things get bumpy. You're good. Your car could also convert into a boat. Wow, the options are endless. And I wrote down as well, repetition is key to success. For everyone, for everything, comes back to willingness. Like we said the other day, of if you want to succeed at X, you get to try again. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And as children in particular, we get up and get back on that bike until we can pedal, just like a baby learning to walk. We don't stop the baby, we encourage. So it goes back hand in hand, like you've said, how they integrate back to who are you going to ask to support you? Because when we have those cheerleaders, boy, our dreams become reality a lot easier and it's fun and easy. And this is just so exciting how simple this framework is and how doable it is. And yeah, if things come up and the road gets bumpy, and that's another thing, you've drawn a roadmap. Wow. You have the plan if you want the step by steps. Or guess what? You can go off-roading, off the beaten track, into fields with beautiful views and a great 360 vision and have an adventure. And it brings me back to, we won't go into them just now, but the sage powers, the five sage powers. And I can see how you've intentionally added these in, even if I'm sure you did mean it. Yes. See, because you're navigating, you're exploring. So you've done a great job, and I'm very excited for the 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
Um, there was one little reflective piece on that I just noticed as well, that with the, again, coming back to like the drawing and the driving process, the drawing process,
mm,
we often make it complicated. Like we want to get everything done, and this thing has to
mm,
mean this whole visionary project, and
yeah.
how to actually bring that back to, like, if there's a lot of firefighting going on, that's not the same as getting to a point where it feels manageable. I've gone
Mm,
through that whole thing wherever our um situation is, if it's like really strong health challenges, for instance, or
mhm,
if it's like sometimes it's even just perceived but I'm not belittling anyone's challenges, but some of it's like heavily perceived, and as soon as the relief that knowing that they can get better gets is there, they start to get
yeah.
better much quicker anyway. So but the point being is that even if it's a lot going on and it seems like far too far away, to remember, what does your day look like that represents getting better
Mm,
just by a little bit. And
yeah.
so the drawing of like one health thing one health thing, 10 seconds of trying a bit of mindfulness is a health thing. Even if it's just and you say you're going to do it and you do it, you get balloons. Uh, but if you know what I mean, so it's that thing of
Yes.
how simple can it be? A 10-minute walk. If it's done with
Mm,
intention and you say you're going to do it and you do it, you're reinforcing the better behavior, the more visionary
yeah.
thing. So it doesn't have to be this grand thing. Just what's one health thing, what's one wealth thing, and what's one stealth thing. That's
Yeah.
how. And stealth is the targeting, so something bigger than myself.
Mm,
Wealth is something that's outside of me as a
mhm,
fuel for my the health, and the wealth fuel each other. But anyway,
mhm.
so health, wealth, and stealth. Just
Yeah.
three things. What could those three things be? And then the drive then becomes easy again, like we said before. So the drive to
Yeah.
just go, okay, well, even if I didn't do that breath work for 10 minutes this morning, I've just remembered it now.
Mm.
And I've got 10 minutes, or I can at least declare
Yeah.
to someone else, excuse me, I really want to honor my health right now. Do you mind looking after this whilst I just go away for 10 minutes and do this kind of thing? It's
Yeah.
all possible. It's remembering what our needs are and declaring them, knowing that we
Yeah.
can create that. And if it's ten minutes of three of those a day, and that's what you declare, it
Hmm.
becomes your masterpiece. You mastered it
Yeah.
in that space.
And I love that you've shared all that. And it's very easy to overcomplicate, like you've said. So, especially if you're new to, let's say, meditating, then start with 2 minutes. Because I think a lot of the time, what we hear is people set unrealistic expectations, and then when they're not completed, what tends to happen is, oh, I'm not good enough. All these beliefs, all these stories, negativity towards ourselves, and then actually, I'm not going to do any of it. So you've given great examples there of, all right, if you've said, I'm going to do this meditation for 2 minutes in the morning, and life happens and it's now the afternoon. Okay, great. Take the 2 minutes in the afternoon. What I wrote down with everything you said there, Rory, was perfectionism, and really thinking of two distinctions that I live by of done is better than perfect and messy versus right. And it's all about having fun and experimenting. And guess what? It's not going to be perfect. And that's the whole point. You may have these steps and you may only do it 50% of the time. Same with meditating. So just allow yourself that grace, the love, and compassion to continue building and be playful, like your sage powers, that inner child. Have fun, be playful, creative. All right, Rory, do you want to take it away with this fifth D?
Yeah, and you actually intuitively mentioned it at the end there, just before introducing and asking me what the final fifth D is.
Okay.
So dream, drop, draw, drive, dance. So get out of the car and celebrate
Mm,
every now and again, in your day to celebrate, but also there's the sort of connecting with others and dancing with relationships rather than thinking it's got to be a fixed way or this. So it's the, like I said, creativity and playful
yeah,
part of being in the moment with it all. Once it's all been declared, once it's all been set out, it's like just get to drive the car because it's all been set out, and dance with the challenges, dance with the.
yeah,
So it's about the dance is the play of life with whatever challenges there are there, as well as celebration. So it's not just
yeah,
pleasure seeking dancing to get away from something, it's
yeah,
actually dancing
mm,
with the processes as
yeah,
well, to be okay with learning and
mhm,
growing and in a like I said,
mm,
in a playfulness.
yes. Put their um, inner child, growth, and playfulness. Well, expansion. That's really what came up there. So, Rory, I love that you said this, and we're so in tune because yesterday in particular, I realized what is something that I love that I may not have been doing and I get to do more of. And it was dancing and music, cranking up the music even in the car and really uh, movement is so great because it's that mindset with action that really gets us the best results. And we always usually say about change your physiology, and dancing is a great way to drop as well, isn't it? Because you can shake it off and you can, well, the song Dancing in the Moonlight, one of the best lines is, you can't dance and stay uptight. How true is that? So you're telling your nervous system and your body, I'm happy, I'm moving, I'm good. When I did Camp America, Rory, there was a really great song that was in the tune of Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes. And it was, I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Woo! And every now and again, I sing that and it really does get me dancing and changing my physiology. And then just coming back, you mentioned about celebrating wins. Tell us a little bit more about celebrating your wins.
Yeah. Um, Firstly, if the process is done well and it's repeated to the point of uh, declaration of what you want to get done, you know, cleaning your teeth is a win. If you said you wanted to do it, even if it's become automatic or not. But
Hmm.
that's the thing. Some people, struggle with daily routine stuff as neurodivergent. So it's really important to recognize that it's okay to not get stuff done that without and making it a shameful process. So this dancing with
Hmm.
the fluidity of planning things and just to getting something done that you wanted to even the smallest things are massive
Mm.
because otherwise they're accumulative of um, stress and challenge and building up the muscles of stuff that the mental muscles of what we don't want. So,
Yes.
so it may be difficult to just noticing that it may be difficult to change something as a habit and that inertia of being drawn back to being in that older habit or pattern, whether it's a thought process or a physical action that's being not wanted, and knowing that it's commendable and honorable, and yeah, it's really important to recognize that to want to do that and to try to do that is a win in itself.
Yeah.
By recognizing, going, no, I don't want that anymore. And to be able to
Yes.
declare, saying, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm focusing on this. And even if it's drawing back to that,
Yeah.
that's a win. So what can be won
Yeah.
every single day, and
Yeah.
what can be um and 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 what can be also a bigger win that can be really celebrated every day.
Yeah.
So like, how to do it in increments, but also how to have like a gift to the self. If
Hmm.
it's just a mindful meal with a friend or whatever it is, uh, just to celebrate something that you did do that was bigger.
Yeah. I like that mindfulness as well, being consciously aware and intentional. I did this with my hands because when you're speaking, I really thought, okay, what am I choosing to stop and what am I wanting to start? Stop, start, easy. And also celebrating your wins, no matter how big or small, because one of the things I will say to myself is I believe that my small wins lead to my big wins. Because when we can really easily overlook our wins as humans and not celebrate or not even celebrate for more than 5 minutes, and then we're already setting these expectations and pressures of I must do better and now I've done this, and that then can kind of actually stop us or making the step even bigger than it seems because it comes down to feeling capable, feeling confident. And what's beautiful with these 5 daily Ds, this is an amazing framework, and thank you so much for sharing it with us, is that, like you've said, they all integrate together. So for me, with all the work that I've done, I will go in order. And then I would also look and feel into my body in the morning. I'm going to also think, where am I wanting to lean more into today that's going to really move me towards my compelling vision? And that's the thing, isn't it, that you said about motivation, not inspiration, motivation, which is actually taking the action and the movement towards your dream and feeling. that you're or choosing to be pulled by love, not pushed by fear. You're in the growth mindset, the champion mindset, as I say, rather than the scarcity or lack. And it's just so important. It's absolutely amazing and very, very easy to use. So thank you for sharing that. It's truly, truly gold dust.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle, and thanks everyone for watching. Love to hear your highlights and
Yeah.
feedback, questions, or anything.
Mhm.
One last little piece around that I loved you what you said shared was being drawn by love with the motivation, because motivation and willpower are slightly two different things. The way
Yeah.
I describe it, like willpower is almost like as a sense of the thought processes, and the motivation
Mm.
is a neurochemical version of the drive. And so
Yeah.
if we don't have the neurochemicals and or the chemicals in our body, that
Mm.
if we're feeling low in motivation,
Mhm.
but it takes more willpower to draw up that, but also doing that process of being kind and celebrating brings the pull of love to it. It's like
Yeah.
almost the idea of um refined white sugar being petrol, and uh potatoes being slower burner, or even even like pumpkin seeds or whatever it is,
Mhm.
being a slower burner energy form
Mhm.
than sugar. Sugar's like and then down again.
Yeah.
That's similar to how our adrenaline and cortisol goes if we're like having this stop start push pull, the push
Yeah.
of our saboteurs,
Mhm.
and that process too. So knowing that, yeah, I hope that's landed well. That it's like almost like we want them, we can make our motivation longer lasting, a different type of dopamine uh, process than the faster short term burning out ones where we're looking for scrolling or something that
Mm.
because scrolling it takes away our dream immediately, because the dream is inside of us. The scrolling is other people's dreams.
Internally to change the external. Rory, what I just want to really shine a light here on something that you said as well, and you've just brought up there is you really said about focusing on what you do want. And it's so important, and I'll repeat it. Focus on what you do want and focus on what you can do and what you can control, because there's no guilt, blame, or shame. And that's where we get to, especially when we're going into our fear zone, crank up the love for ourselves, the trust, the compassion, the patience. So I'm just curious, Rory, before we go, what would you say now, knowing all of this, and especially taking over 20 years to even really practice and embody and embrace these routines and these ways of being, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Ah, that's interesting. After going round and round and round on these things, sometimes I'm like, did I need to go through all of that to be right here, right now?
Hmm.
Would I have been able to have even processed any of that then? Is that whole thing of what is an if? But if it's like literally an if, a literal if that I have to think of that and imagine that, which does help in a process to imagine. Um, the advice. It's
Mm.
like wouldn't want to change any of the dreaming that I was doing with envisioning playing guitar and regulating my nervous system. However, I was doing the dreaming. I didn't know how to drop, relax that
Mhm.
much. I was very good at it anyway, I guess. So I didn't feel I needed it. I always thought that, but there's a mental drop rather than a physical drop that I didn't know. The dream drop drawing, I wouldn't have known how to draw out my ideas more and plan and know that I could draw out like what finding out ways to start communicating my ideas better and becoming a leader back then further and sooner.
Yeah.
Um, leader of my life, and share my ideas. And then the driving, I had loads of drive. So for me, it's the dropping and the drawing, and I would dance with it, but I didn't know how to dance with the challenges so much. I would just be
Mm,
peacekeeping in my mind,
yeah.
or not knowing how to embrace or change my challenges. I just thought that's who I was,
Yeah.
more shy, more artistic, more
Mm,
less of a communicator in terms of
mhm.
social situations and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. Hey, take those and 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 you know it's possible.
Yeah. What else? I feel like there's something else there. If you really tap into that intuition of yours, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
It's practicing my ideas, sharing my ideas, knowing that I'm worthy and whole of doing
Mm,
that.
amazing. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Amazing. Nice one, Michelle. Thanks for asking.
Yes,
Uh, yeah.
I'm excited
Well,
to put these into practice every day.
I love the feedback around that. So yeah,
Yep.
let's yeah. If you're here and you've got anything from this, yeah, love to hear feedback. I think get the recording of this and turn it into a training in itself, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, amazing.
absolutely. Oh,
Awesome.
amazing. All right.
Rewire, refresh, let's make it better.